And APB, American Protection Bureau, voted #1 best on Long Island for all your security needs. Call 631-390-9050. That's 631-390-9050. APB.
And the rockets red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Great, Carrie Underwood. Thoughts on that rendition?
No recollection, bro. No recollection. I got to be honest. Is that Mrs. Verlander, by the way?
No, I don't. Mate, I don't know. Good
Or
question.
is that the other? There might be somebody with a similar name.
It's the American Idol girl.
Yeah, I have no recollection, bro. Obviously you thought the world of it, so that's all I
Well,
can add.
the reason I thought the world of it is, again, I actually was going to rank it higher, but not unfortunately, there's other group of people that are on this list that you can't put her ahead of.
Right.
She was fantastic. Kate Upton is
There
married
we
to Verlander.
There we go.
Luce is all over this shit.
Thank you,
by the way.
Luce. Thank you. My old age
All
thanks
right.
you.
No,
Oy.
number 3 is, and dude, I want you to weigh in on her, Lady Gaga.
She's fucking great. She's fucking great. I actually hate the Madonna comparisons to her because Madonna's not half as talented, not even close. Anything Lady Gaga does is great, and I'm not a fan. I can't explain it. I just know what great is, and it's not like Madonna's not great, but I just think that the comparisons are silly. Lady Gaga is a deeply talented individual. And yeah, I do actually remember that rendition, and anything she does is really, really, really good. Now, there's a professional. She takes her shit very seriously. You can see that she rehearses the crap out of everything and anything she touches. That's a perfectionist, and that's an artist. Lady Gaga's an artist. She really is.
RJ Hudson says not a fan of Lady Gaga. RJ, I wasn't until the movie The Star is Born.
Star is Born.
And
right.
Yep. And then I realized, holy cow, this girl, this woman.
Yeah.
And, RJ, I'm going to change your mind. I'm going to give you a little, and you might have seen it, but I doubt it if you still say you don't like her. Go onto YouTube and see Lady Gaga with the Rolling Stones playing Give Me Shelter.
Oh, shit.
It is
great job.
frigging incredible.
Great job. Dude, I think I've even seen her jamming with Metallica and doing a great job.
Yeah.
She's just a pro, man. She's just a pro. Look, you don't have to be a fan of hers, but to at least appreciate how much talent it goes into what she does, man. She's very, 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 very talented.
Isn't she the type of entertainer, if you heard she was selling tickets for $400 a piece, you'd say it was worth it?
Not for me personally.
But I'm just saying in general.
I could understand why people would pay that. I wouldn't, but I could get what. Look, she's a big enough star. That's for sure. You can't argue with her success. She's had insane level of success. She's at the top. She's at the top of her game. And like I said, and like you said, I've seen her jam with legends, and she holds her own. She's really good, man. She could do different styles. She's really good. Madonna ain't going to be singing Give Me Shelter with the Rolling Stones, bro.
Absolutely not. All right, number 2. Now, this one, look, people can question this. Jimi Hendrix at number 2.
This is the greatest rendition of the Star Spangled Banner in the history of this country. And it was performed by a black man who served and loved this country. He had already served by the time he got to Woodstock. Jimmy was a paratrooper. Okay? Jimmy was a great American. Jimmy was a great person. Jimmy was the most talented guitar player that ever lived and the most innovative. What Jimmy did that day at Woodstock changed everything. All right, because guitarists weren't supposed to be able to do stuff like that. He basically Beethovened us by doing what he did. His version is fantastic. It stays loyal, but it also stays loyal to his time period and what kind of player he was. It's absolutely fucking brilliant what Jimi Hendrix did that day. That's the greatest guitar player that ever walked this planet, bro. That's all there is to it, because he started with a blank slate based on your basic blues, and look what he did. Look what he did with it. Look what he did with feedback. Look what he did with the bending of notes and taking a note that sounds wrong on the surface and bending it into something that sounds exquisite, and then it goes in, cascades into a run of fury. You know, the first chord of Purple Haze, which he invented, I still believe is the first heavy metal chord in the history of rock music, because the first power chord of Purple Haze is like a tank, and it's 1967. So while others may point to Helter Skelter, which is also very true, very heavy, way ahead of its time, leave it to the Beatles to do something like that. But what Jimi Hendrix did, my God. So I'm going to get off my I Love Jimi Hendrix irreversibly podium now and pass it to you. But I feel like this is the greatest version of the Star Spangled
Well,
Banner ever, and no words were required.
I gotta say this to you, Jimmy. I was thinking about the old men back there. I'm sure when Jimi Hendrix came out and older people heard that rendition, they were
Probably horrified.
rolling, they were getting crazy. They were like, "How dare
Probably
this!" Right?
horrified.
So
Probably
I was saying to
right.
Jimmy, wouldn't it be funny if this one that was just done at the Home Run Derby 20 years from now
No,
becomes
no.
the icon
It's not.
national
It's not.
anthem?
No, it never will, because once again, you got to be tone deaf to think that. Okay, never once during Jimi Hendrix's version of the Star Spangled Banner did he hit a bad note. Did he hit something improper or totally off or butcher what his intentions were with that Stratocaster? No, none. That was absolute musical
So
brilliance.
are
Okay,
are you ranking?
a bad note is a bad note. All right, even a cat's ears will raise if you sing a bad note. All right, they will be looking at you like you suck today. And don't think I never practiced in front of my cats just to make sure I didn't suck. You know,
But
that's
are you saying the Hendrix version is better than the Whitney Houston version?
to me historically. If again, historically, yes. It's the most. Let me put it this way. Now, Whitney Houston's is the greatest vocal performance of the Star Spangled Banner ever, because that was her strength. It's almost a draw in some ways, because Jimmy played to his strengths on his guitar solo. If I have to pick one over the other, I'm still picking Hendrix due to the time period, what the country was going through at the time, and the imprint that it left. The imprint that Jimi Hendrix's Star Spangled Banner left has reverberates to this day. Okay, like Whitney was able to do what she did, and unfortunately, what she did reverberates to this day, with other people trying to do vocal gymnastics, resulting in the shit show we saw this past weekend. So that's the kind of influence I don't want to see. I've always felt that it's a simple song. Jimmy proved that with the guitar, it's not the same as a vocal. With a guitar, that he could improvise, add to it, and not take anything away from the original intent. Because the guitarist attempting to do it was a genius. And he did it. He did it, you know. But as far as Whitney Houston, I don't recommend anybody try to sing it the way Whitney Houston did, because she was the Beethoven of her vocal approach. Who the hell ever sang better than Whitney Houston on a vocal scale that way, the way she did it? Nobody.
No one.
Nobody. Okay? She's the blueprint. So today, what you see is a lot of people attempting to oversing. It even goes back to when I saw Mariah Carey first break into the business, and she's going all blah, 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 blah. It's like, oh my God, stop. You know, who's actually most responsible for oversinging? Believe it or not, it's Rock. It's Axel. At the end of Don't Cry. he just keeps going and going. It's like, oh shit, what the? It's hard for me to defend Axel when he does stuff like that, even though I love Axel.
I
But
understand.
over singing has been going on for quite a while now, and we saw the worst aspects of it this past weekend. I can't disagree with you picking Whitney Houston as your favorite. She's the greatest vocal performance of the song. All right,
So
period.
again, it's not just about the song. It's about
Right.
time, moment. We're coming out
Right.
of 9/11. This is
Right.
again, this Gaga be a share, right? Where you didn't know she was going to be, but she's a star. When it's game time, she's there, right? They're
Right.
stars. They're just stars.
Right.
It doesn't matter. The Derek Jeters of the world, right? We talk.
Right.
Jimmy and I talk. Me and Jimmy enjoy the same teams. Okay. Jimmy is always the optimist, where I'm always the hater and understanding what really is going to happen. And I'm sorry to say it, Jimmy. And unfortunately I end up
You
being
have
right
you
all
have
the time.
clarity? Get out of here.
So,
Like, I don't realize every year that the New York teams are going to suck. Really?
but you come into it with a very positive belief that something good may just happen. Where
May.
I just,
You're
so
just like ass.
again, I'm a huge, this is maybe why I like pro wrestling, because in the end, my favorites never fail me. They end up winning, right?
Right.
I was a huge Patrick Ewing fan. We loved Patrick Ewing,
Sure.
but Patrick, he was a loser.
No, he wasn't. Would you stop?
He was a loser.
He wasn't a loser. He just never won an NBA championship.
That
Neither
makes
did
him a loser.
It
Loser.
doesn't make him a loser. See, that's where I disagree. I mean, you're talking team sports. It's not all about him. Well, he didn't have a supporting cast like others had, and he also ran into Michael Jordan. These aren't excuses. These are facts. He had
Okay,
his chance.
he ran
chance.
into the winner. He ran into Akeem Olajuwon, a winner.
Yep.
Listen, he's my favorite athlete of all time, but unfortunately, he's a loser. Okay,
That's rough, bro. I don't agree. I think he was a winner, but he never won a title. I mean, does it mean that?
Listen.
I guess that means that Ted Williams is a loser, right? He's a loser.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay,
That's right.
well, if that's how you look at that stuff, then that's how you look at that stuff. I'm not going to change your mind.
Let's not mix it up. You can be a great player and a loser. Necessarily have to be like you're not. You know what I mean? You can be a look. Here, you know what? You do the baseball bums on Sunday with Benny, and I know I keep promoting because I love the show, and people, if you love baseball, you have to get to it. But I'm not part of the show, but I watch on a regular basis every Sunday.
Yeah.
Jimmy, you said one thing, and this is the first time I'm ever going to say this to you.
Yeah.
You were talking about pitching, and I forget what pitcher you were talking about, and it doesn't really matter. But he had 288 wins, and you said, "That's what I said to myself." No,
right?
It's not. The rule is 300. He failed.
That's not a rule.
He lost.
300 is not a rule.
The standard. It's the standard. It's the standard.
Not anymore.
It's not the
not
guarantee.
anymore.
We're talking about when this person
hasn't
played.
been for like 20 years. When Dennis Martinez got in with 240 something wins, it hasn't been the standard for years.
I understand, but when that person played, it wasn't good enough. It wasn't good enough, and that's all I'm trying to say. You have to have barriers, and I don't agree. I'm sorry. I know they changed the game, but I'm getting off track. All I'm saying is there's winners and there's losers. Mark Messier is a fucking winner.
Oh, God.
Okay?
That's for sure. Absolutely. I agree.
Hendrix Runquist, right, is a loser. He's a loser.
I got you. Hey, look, I can't change your mind. I can't change your opinion. Why would I try? I got no reason to. If that's how you look at those guys, I mean, Don Mattingly is a loser. I get it. That's fine. If that's the difference that you judge. I mean, I would think that it would be a more reasonable approach on in boxing or MMA or something like that, where it is all about you and it's up to you to either take it and grab it or not. But
if you're talking about baseball, Jimmy, I agree with you. If you're talking to me about basketball, I disagree with you. You can own the court as a single player. okay, with role players around you if you're that.
All
It's a
right.
little more difficult, right? 3 bats a game,
Oh,
playing
okay.
only one
All right.
field. I
All right.
agree with you there. A lot more difficult. But basketball,
Okay.
no way.
All
And
right.
you're right. Boxing is another thing too. Boxing, it's all you alone. I totally get it. I get it.
Right.
I understand.
Right. I'll make this quick because I know we don't want to get too sidetracked. But as far as basketball goes, even Jordan had Pippen. Kareem had Magic and Worthy. Bird had McHale and Parrish. And we all know about Golden State when Durant got there to pair up with Curry. Okay? There always has to be someone else on a stud Hall of Fame type level. And we both know the facts when it comes to Patrick Ewing. Patrick Ewing in his prime had John Starks and Charles Oakley. That is not James Worthy. That is not Magic Johnson. That is not Scottie Pippen. That is not Kevin Durant. That is none of those things. And by the time that Patrick got a supporting cast of an Allen Houston and a Larry Johnson and everything else he had, he was already old
Latrell
and
Sprewell.
broke his
Yeah,
foot.
I understand. I understand.
You know what I'm saying? So I get it though. You're right though. Basketball is definitely much more getting closer to what you're talking about. There's only 5 guys on the court. It's not like you got 9 men on the field or a 25-man roster like baseball has. And football's another even rougher one. You got 53 guys. Dan Marino's a loser? I guess he is, right? The other 52 guys, he didn't have. I mean, shit. Even
Listen,
Stabler had Fred
I'm going to disagree
Biletnikoff.
with
I
you on
mean,
the foot. I'm going to disagree with you. I'm going to disagree here why. If you're a quarterback, you can control a game. You know this as well as I can.
well,
If you
especially nowadays. Especially nowadays.
Right,
But I'm not so
right.
sure about back in the day when you really got hit
But
and they didn't throw a
like,
flag.
okay, you may
You
not
know?
like what I'm going to say here. Here's a perfect example. I know how much you love Thurman Munson. And I
Right.
know that if Thurman Munson did not pass away, who knows what he could have did.
Right.
But unfortunately, he did. And guess what? That sucks. So you can never look. It even goes back, and when we talk about Barry Bonds and
He's a
you
loser.
know, no Barry Bonds. Did he win? Did he win a World Series? He did.
No,
won
he
one.
didn't. No, he did not. He lost. He lost in 2003.
Didn't he win with the
to
Giants?
Angels. No, he was not
Okay.
there at that point. Nope, he was gone, and he got to one
All
World
right.
Series and he lost it.
So then he's a loser. That's right. But here's my
Thurman
point.
Munson? Thurman Munson's a winner.
Yeah, he sure is. He sure is. All the way
waiting
down
for
to
it.
the fucking whatever. Don't even
There
make.
we go. Fucking. You had to, right, mate?
But
You
here's the
had
thing.
to.
Here's the thing. Can you tell me that Mike Schmidt did? Can you guarantee me Mike Schmidt never took a steroid?
No.
Or Greg Luzinski? You
no.
can't.
No. Carlton Fisk. See those forearms about
Right.
10 years into? Whoa.
Johnny Bench. Johnny
Right.
Bench.
Well, I'm not so sure about Johnny, but I got you. I got you. Those other names, I could see it.
All I'm saying is you can't guarantee it. So how can you
Right.
punish Sammy Sosa, Barry Bonds? You just can't.
I don't think we should. I don't think we should. I totally agree with that. It's very hypocritical. They should all be in the Hall of Fame. Grown men on roids, throwing a grown men on roids, plus the list. 80% of that list, those guys sucked. So
getting back to the conversation, we were talking about winners. So Whitney Houston, when it was game time and this country needed it, she brought it home, man. She brought it home and made everybody feel good. I mean, we're going to talk about the president. Unfortunately, this weekend.